Hello, everyone.
Hey, happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. Welcome to our hangout, our weekly hangout. We hope your week's going well.
Definitely.
And
Um,
tonight we are supposed to have two teachers join us, and
yep,
they are going to be sharing about what they've been doing with Google Apps in their classroom. This is in relation to the PD3 credit for those who attended the Google Apps Summit. So we're gonna wait a few minutes and hopefully they will be able to join us. In the meantime, some announcements about Google. They just announced Google Classroom. Did you see that, Kimball?
yeah, that's pretty neat.
Hey, Sean. Can you hear us, Sean?
So, looks like it's loading.
Oh,
There
there
it
he
is.
is. Hey,
Yep.
Sean.
Hello.
So, Sean, we were talking about Google Classroom. Did you hear about that?
Yes, I signed up the minute I saw it.
Yeah, it looks pretty exciting. I don't know if and when it's gonna actually happen,
hmm
but hopefully someone we know, if not us, will get invited into the beta and be able to check it out and see if it's really a solution for a lot of schools looking to use Google Apps as like an LMS.
Mm.
So hopefully that will. I mean, from the looks of it, it kind of looks like there's some things that are similar to how Hapara works. I don't know if you're familiar with Hapara, Sean.
Yeah, I've seen it, but I didn't jump on it right away. I also think you have Lauren in the Q&A section.
Yeah, she just sent me her Gmail, so I think she's probably in the process of logging in. If not, she can feel free to chime in again. And we have another guest, Rachel Armstrong, I believe, that might be
Yes,
joining.
we have two of them that are hopefully going to be able to join us tonight and share about what they've been doing with Google Apps.
So, but I heard, so going back to Classroom, I heard that it may not exactly be an LMS, but it may have some tools that are featured.
Yeah, I don't think it can be a full-on LMS, but I'm
Yeah.
sure from what I can gather, it seems like you can at least kind of gather your students in a place where it would make it a little easier to manage. Manage manage their Google Drive or a little bit more with kids.
Yeah. I I think that's a good idea and kind of bundles it all together in one, like almost a one-stop shop.
Yes, totally. Oh, Rachel's commenting.
Okay.
Um, Rachel, yes, you are. Can you try to invite Rachel again? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Post it in the Q&A.
Yeah, Rachel, if you can hear us, could you? I have your Halikula email, and I sent a reminder out to that. Um, if there's another preferred Gmail.
Oh,
Uh,
there. She just said invite her at her Halikula address.
all right, let me try again. No problem. There we go.
Sean, I'm glad you've been able to join us pretty regularly.
It's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
it's
I
great to have you.
it's it's really interesting what people are doing, what people are presenting, and so just getting ideas and seeing what other people do. It kind of helps. It's keeping me excited for next school year.
I think it's a
Hi,
good
Rachel.
note to end on for the
Hi,
school
how
year.
are
Yeah.
you?
Hi.
Thanks for joining us.
Mhm.
So we're also supposed to have Lauren um, join us too. Kimberly, I don't know if you were able to. You
She
sent
gave me
out the
her
invite a couple
personal
times.
Gmail, so it should be sent out. If you're having trouble connecting, just let me know, Lauren, and we can figure something out.
Yeah, and Lauren, you can also post to the Q&A and we can see it from there if you're having uh, any problems finding the invite. So we can start off with Rachel though. You could maybe introduce yourself and let us know what you do and where you teach, and then you can
I think she's frozen.
actually just jump straight into sharing what you're doing.
You hear me, Liz? I think she might be frozen.
She's good.
Oh, no.
Do you
Oh,
guys
she's
hear me?
back. Okay, cool. Yeah,
Yes.
perfect.
Oh, okay. Hi, I'm Rachel Armstrong. I'm a 5th grade blended learning teacher at Halikula Elementary School. And I was definitely happy to get PD credits for going to the Google Summit, so thank you for that. I don't know if you guys want me to jump right in with what I've been doing. We're definitely a GAF school, and I've been using Google Apps with the 5th graders for about 2 years now. But I don't know if you want me to jump right in and go ahead with the lesson and all that good stuff.
Well, you're more than welcome to. If I might interrupt it just in case Lauren needs a little assistance, but that's cool. So
Yeah,
you're faculty at Halikula. That's like one of the most high-tech elementary schools in the Pacific. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, we have a very innovative principal, and we were fortunate to get a, and lots of good staff members. So we were really fortunate to get a grant, and for the past 2 years, we got basically the DODEA grant covered laptops for the students, and so I was in a one-to-one environment. Blackboard. So the kids, the model of blended learning that we were doing is the kids were coming to school 2.5 days a week, and then 2.5 days a week they were learning online at home. So it's been very interesting and a lot of learning.
Yeah, wow.
But Google Apps definitely plays into that. So if you want, I can go ahead and screen share and show you guys what I put for the PD credit.
Awesome.
Okay. Let me just start the screen share. Okay, do you guys see my screen?
It's loading.
Do you see Blackboard?
Oh yeah, cool.
Okay, so I'm going to preface this by saying this was part of an interdisciplinary unit about leading up to the American Revolution, so causes of the Revolution. So in Blackboard, I have most of my curriculum, and right now you're not seeing the Voki that's here, and that's due to ESIS. Some things don't show up on my computer anymore for some strange reason. But the students went through a whole bunch of lessons that dealt with social studies as well. So I just kind of wanted to preface before I get into the Google part that there's a lot of other tools that I use. Definitely used Voki, and that introduces the topic, and I apparently didn't log in time. Sorry about that. But I had a Voki that introduced their prompt to them before they even began the unit. And basically what it is through the course of this unit, they were looking at perspective. And so at the end, they were asked to be a colonist, and they were going to have to stand in front of the town hall and speak to whether their fellow colonists should be loyalists or patriots, or fence sitters neutral. So it was pretty cool. And I also wanted to just point out really quickly something else I use that is not Google, but is a great tool for any educator that's wanting to put more gamification or simulations in their classroom, and that's Mission US. And so we use this Mission 1 for Crown or Colony. And it was really interesting because the kids got to play the role of a 14-year-old boy during that time, and it was kind of like a choose-your-own-adventure. So they got to pick their way through different events that led up to the American Revolution.
Awesome.
But anyways, interrupt me at any time, by the way, because I can talk for a while. So anyways.
Did your Voki stop working? Did you upgrade to the new Firefox by chance? I heard that some
That
bugginess.
might be why the Voki's not working. I'm not sure because a lot of pieces have, there's certain things that that Java things and stuff that aren't working on my computer currently, and ever since she had to put the ESIS back on for my report card, that's been giving me a little bit of trouble. So I'm not exactly sure why. It might be that. I could look and see what operating system I'm on right now. I think it's 10.8, but I'm not absolutely sure.
Remind us again what grade levels this is for your
Sure.
for your...
Sorry. Yeah, I teach 5th grade.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I even tried to put the Voki here, but again, it's not showing up for me. So I'm wondering if when I submit this, if it's going to show up on, maybe it's just due to the browser I'm using, or like you said, maybe my computer needs some updates. So that's something to look into. But any old hoot, here was the summative writing. So basically what I did for this professional development section was just focus on the writing for the unit and not necessarily throw in all the social studies as well. And the Common Core standard I was looking at is write opinion pieces on topics and support their point of view with reasons. So anyways, I have a sequence here for whenever this is released. I'm not sure who these sites are being released to view, but basically we went through the social studies and overview of it, and then the students were able to choose 3 causes of the revolution that they wanted to research in depth. And so here you see one of the students, their research on 3 causes of the revolution. That she chose to research, and I want to really highlight the fact that Google Docs, which I'm sure you guys all know, but for anyone watching that doesn't, that comments is a great way of personalizing feedback for each student. So definitely both the students research their causes, and here's the other student sample. After they researched their causes, then they went to write their actual speech. And I guess I should have prefaced this, and I'm kind of got way too many tabs open. My brain has been real busy today, sorry. But I guess I should have prefaced by saying that before we got to the topic of the American Revolution, I thought it was important for them to write on topics that maybe are a little bit closer to home for them, that they can relate to more. So we did do a Google presentation where they went into and they answered prompts, on just persuasive writing prompts to see if they could create a persuasive paragraph to begin with on things that were closer to home. And I actually did this for my SLO. And what I was looking at is after the lessons were taught, if there was a change in the students' writing. And it was interesting to see their writing improve as they went. So this one actually I used as data. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it's really neat. Did you create like a template for them, and then they made copies, and then kind of renamed it and kind of give it back to you that way? And is that how, or is this like a collaborative document or an individual?
Right, that's a good question. So sometimes it just depends if they create it themselves in their Google account, but for this one I did create a template, and I believe it's on this up here for formative assessments for their writing. This is the template, and basically what I did is I pushed it out through Hapara, because I have a Hapara dashboard, and then the students each got a copy of it, and from there they would put in their responses. And if you notice on this template, it doesn't have edited responses, so they did add those slides in. If I jump back to her power presentation, excuse me, there's the prompt, and that was on the template, and then she had to put in her own pre-writing and brainstorming, and then her own response. And then what I had them do is, as we edit it, you would see the lessons kicking on making a hook when you're writing, or having a firmer stance, using better word choices. And again, it just comes down to using comments to give them feedback. And they also had, it says reload. Did you guys see that?
Mm.
Something went wrong. Okay.
Yeah, I get that.
Maybe it's catching up to mine. But they did have peers go through, because I think that was another part of your question. They did have some of the, I did have the peers go through and give them feedback as well throughout the course of it. But the goal for this was, and this is kind of the leading up to writing the essays, the goal more for me was to get them to the point where they were comfortable writing persuasive, answering persuasive prompts so that they would be able to take research and then write from research a persuasive essay. So we kind of did all kinds of things with it. You can see here where I had them self-evaluate their own paragraph at that point. Let me show you another sample, because this one I think you can really see his progression of his writing. So when he first answered it, the prompt 1, this is what he put. No, I don't think sugary foods should be banned from school. And it is a stance, but it's not necessarily the best way to hook your reader or to go about it. So then after the lesson in class on how to make a good hook and how to get your reader invested in what you're saying, this is a much better way of beginning it. Do you like a game of speed, hand-eye coordination, and agility? And then you see there, obviously no question mark, so then when they came down to edit, he put his question mark in and stuff. So again, it's just looking at how can we improve their writing, and I think the reason I liked Google presentations so much for this is because unlike Google Docs, it keeps all their writing in one place. So when I do journal writing with them, or when it's a lot of the same type writing, if I put it in a presentation, it's not me having to flip between lots of different documents to see their growth. It's all in one place.
That's really neat. And I'm seeing the different dates. So this is the 30th, and before that, that was like the 17th.
Yeah, it's pretty much, I think they're about one a week or so. And I realized on this one, this should schools ban silly bands, and I have to give credit because I didn't make these prompts up. These came for, I just digitized stuff I had found. So these came from Times for Kids, the debate section for Times for Kids. And I should have put here kendamas just to see, because it's it's more relevant. So I should have probably changed that up a little bit. Someone told me that later, and I said, yeah, you're right. But it was just a nice way to see their progression, as well as to keep track of documentation of my individual feedback to them. Because everything is data driven now. So for SLOs, it was just a nice way of showing, yes, I'm personalizing instruction, I'm giving feedback, and keeping track of how they're progressing. It were presentations for this. I didn't have any notebooks to carry home, that kind of thing. So it was pretty amazing. So I really enjoyed doing that. Okay, and so I guess that leads into then we had been doing that at the same time we've been studying the American Revolution. So while we were studying the American Revolution, we were developing those writing skills of persuasive writing, and then they went in and did their research. A lot of times, and again, this was on a Google Doc. A lot of times in the class, I don't always assign for them. I try to give them as much choice as possible. This is definitely standards-based. I could show you perhaps on another episode an example of where I've given students complete reign, where it's a topic of their choosing, complete topic of their choosing, complete tools of their choosing. But this is definitely more teacher-guided by topic. So anyways, they researched, and then they made their speeches. And again, this came about on a Google Doc. So here's one of the colonial persuasive speeches, and here's the other one, and I just kept to the same two kids so you could kind of see what they had done. And so it moved it from one paragraph to a 5-paragraph essay, more or less. Yeah, and so I mean, it's looking at how can I develop them as writers, and they're still working it. They're in 5th grade, but then they stood up in front of the class and they gave their speeches. But for those that are a little bit more shy, I thought, just to balance, because we have one-to-one laptops, and because they do go home, half the week, to balance those that are a little bit more shy, they took their speeches, and not only did they give them in class, but they recorded them using Blabberize, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with this tool or not. But basically, it's taking a static picture, and then you can create a mouth on it. I don't think you'll hear what he says, but I'll go ahead and push play. But anyways,
that Tyler Richards pushing you around.
Can you guys hear that?
Fight from England's wrath. My name is Caleb Page. It is an honor to be a patriot.
Could you guys hear him talking or no?
Yeah.
Oh, you could? Wow. Okay. I didn't think last time I did something on a Google Hangout where there was sound, nobody could hear it. But this was one of them, and Blabberize is kind of glitchy sometimes. You saw the last boy; he had 2 mouths on his. And here's another example of where she recorded her speech using Blabberize. And I just think the nice thing about digital tools is now we took it from a Google Doc or from a Google presentation or whatever we start off with, and then we can give them that opportunity to use other tools as well. So it kind of all bleeds together, you know. And I think it's even better that they don't just have the opportunity to do something in class for those that maybe are a little bit more hesitant to do public speaking. And this young man right here, it was glitchy for him because Blabberize sometimes doesn't work, so he recorded his on VoiceThread, which, you know, is totally fine as well. So that's the basics of the lesson. Again, the writing section of this unit, which was was a quarter long. And then I wanted to show this because I found this online, and again, it's just taking things that I found, you know, still beg, borrow, steal, and how can I change them to make it relevant, engaging, and also use tools that are there that are paperless. And so this one was where I found these, and I just put it online. And so this was even before, you know, those speeches happened. And the kids had to read through these scenarios, and then on VoiceThread, each person had to comment as to if they thought this colonist was a loyalist, a patriot, or neutral. Yeah, and then at the very end, they had to choose one of those that would make the best British spy. So just real cool stuff, you know. And again, we've been a GAF school for a while. I've been integrating it into instruction for about 2 years now. But I still have a lot to learn, and, you know, don't we all? So let me see if I can go back to the Hangout window and take myself off screen share.
Really cool. Awesome job.
Thanks. So I don't know if you guys have questions. I feel like I was talking for too long, and I apologize. My voice is a little off. I've been sick, but that's the basics of what the unit looked like. And last year it was the same thing, but it was different. I didn't do the Google presentation for the prompts leading up to it. But what I found is that they need a little bit more guidance with their writing. So I think their speeches were even better this year. Mm-hmm. One thing that Google Summit that I got out of it this year was the tour builder, and so we tried it out, but it wasn't finished, so I didn't want to show it tonight. But it was the kids each took a battle of the American Revolution, and this was fourth quarter after the speeches. They researched their battle, and then they wrote up the story of their battle, and so we put it in Tour Builder, but I'm still waiting on a couple kids. You know how that goes. So the tour isn't completely done yet, but trying to use new stuff all the time. But thank you for letting me share.
Sure, thank you. What were, aside from, you know, maybe one tool acting different than another, were there other challenges or positive aspects that kind of came out of this? You know, were there tools that maybe your kids found that worked best for them, and just kind of giving them options? Was that helpful? Or?
Yeah, you know, I think always giving them choice is the best thing. Now, I'll be honest with you. This was definitely more teacher direct driven, because it's I mean, there really wasn't so much choice of what they were supposed to do. They all knew they had to write a speech. What I typically do is every quarter is centered around a theme. So the first quarter is exploration, and so everything funnels through that theme. And then at the end of the quarter, the last couple weeks, what I do is they do a choice project, kind of like that 20% in education type idea. And so at the end of the quarter, for exploration, they became the explorer, and they chose a topic of their choice, and then they got to research that. They created their own research questions. They stated how they were going to find their research. So it was definitely like completely student-driven. So, you know, we go through this decision-making model. It's kind of like KWL, but it's I could show you the doc if you want, but they go through the document, and they can do that in groups or solo, and they state what they've learned. They talk about what actions they're going to take and what new questions they have. Then they can use any multimedia tool, and they can make a project out of it. And I've had kids who created apps. I've had kids who, you know, study video games. One girl liked American Dolls, so she made a website all about the dolls. You know, so I think it's just a matter of balancing the two, because, you know, there are things, and this one I think you guys wanted us to pick a common core standard, so I was trying to showcase one that was definitely hitting that up completely. But I think it's a matter of giving them those choices as well, and, you know, because I think that's really important. And with digital tools, it gives us a lot more opportunities to letting them pick what they want to create with. So yes, I definitely think that's important, and I don't want to hog all the time, or I could show you those things as well.
One last favor, can you please maybe link to that document in our community?
Sure. Do you have show notes, or do you want me to put it in the community under the event, or?
Under the event would be fine, or resources wherever you see fit. Yeah, that's really cool.
Which do you want me? Do you want me to link to a student website with all of it on, or do you want me to link to each of the documents, or to the Google site I'm creating for the PD?
I think the Google site is fine.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, it's a work in progress. It's still not done.
Awesome.
Okay, sounds good.
You can just link it when you're done, Rachel. You don't have to.
Yeah, because I know that the due date's inching up, but I'm not there yet. So I'll link it in underneath the Hangout when it's done. That sounds good. Thank you.
All right, thank you. How are you, Miss Lauren? Can you hear us okay?
Yes, I can.
Okay, great. We can hear you too.
Oh,
all
good.
Right. So what are you up to? Where are you teaching these days?
I'm from Milani Ike, teaching 5th grade this year, but our school loops, so we do 4th and 5th grade 2 years in a row, or one after the other.
Another 5th grade teacher. All right, perfect.
Yeah. No, and I've met Rachel before, so I've actually seen some of her work, and I really got excited the last time I saw her was at a DKG conference, and so she had shared some of the Weebly sites that they had used, and then looking at what they had done at her school, and then going to the Google Summit this past spring was kind of inspiring. Hopefully we'll get to do some of those interesting things that we got to get ideas from. Okay, so what I've been working on was with my students, we've been doing a slideshow. We've learned how to use Google Presentation to create a collection of things that are important to them. And so the lesson that I'm trying to work on, and it's not completely finished yet, but the lesson that we've developed is using slideshow as a way to collect things that are important. And then after going to the Google Summit and seeing the tour builder, it kind of inspired this idea for a life museum for the students. So incorporating the Google sites as an evidence portfolio, and also using the presentations to make kind of like if you're going into your own art museum, your own collections and assortments of things that were important to you in your learning. And so what we did get a chance to start on was just things that are pictures, nature shots in their area that they valued, and they were able to put in their captions and what they, why it was important to them, why it was meaningful. And I didn't start it with the students yet, but the next project or the next component that I started working on was the word collection. So incorporating the language standards of the Common Core, and knowing that they have to start to build a better understanding of vocabulary and I guess words that have value and meaning, so that they can call upon it when they need to enhance their writing and things like that.
That's really neat. That sounds like a great way to build their vocabulary, and the kind of like we were saying, kind of giving them some choices and some flexibility there, and creativity. You know, that's so important. And it sounds like your role is kind of shifting too, from like less lecture to more of that as like a curator. You know, you're kind of like facilitating it, and just less up at the front and more amongst. You know, so that's really
so giving them a little bit more flexibility and ownership, so that they can pull out what was meaningful to them, and then making that site and that evidence portfolio a little bit more coming from them, and not just us telling them what they need to include and what we're looking for all the time.
I bet that it really engages them, because they don't see the same thing time after time too, so they can learn from each other much more that way too, and it mixes things up, and really kind of
That would,
individualized, like we're saying. Just,
yes, that would be the that's the ideal. It's not finished yet, but that's the goal.
oh, very neat. And have you guys had your domain, your school domain set up for a while, or?
Um, but I think the last 2 years maybe they
2 years?
started.
Okay.
It's been in small parts. So first the
Yeah.
teachers were on. This last year they started to get the students on a little bit more. And then I know definitely next year they're gonna start to incorporate more since a bunch of us were able to go to the Google Summit and we're starting to transition more into using Google as our basis platform.
That's so cool. And
Yeah.
I think that's what, you're taking really great steps. I think and um, if you're familiar with the SAMR model, it sounds like you're already kind of redefining your curricula. Not just substituting in textbooks or electronic worksheets. You're really kind of getting kids to construct meaningful artifacts.
Yeah.
Oh man, super cool. So it sounds like the Google App Summit was very instrumental for pushing a lot of change forth for a lot of us, so inspiring us.
Yes, I think so. And it was good because people who weren't necessarily on board when it came to technology and using Google were able to go to different things, and it opened their eyes a little bit more on what the possibilities are. And I think those keynote speakers, the moonshot ideas and the living in beta really kind of hit it home. And it really touched, I think, a lot of people.
Very inspiring. Yeah. So can we count on you, Lauren, and Rachel maybe presenting next year at the 2015?
That would be.
So.
You could probably count on it. I presented twice this year, so I'm sure I'll be presenting again. And Lauren, you should too, because free admission.
Right, can't beat that. That's a big incentive right there.
Yes, that is.
And I had a couple of colleagues, and that was their first time presenting too. And feel free to chime in, Rachel. I mean, I think it's more like those are just collaborative sessions where you can just really just share and connect like we're doing here. So cool. And especially, you find other fifth grader teachers or whatever at your level of or subject matter for expertise, and you can exchange resources and ideas.
I know. I really liked Rachel's idea with the speeches. We haven't gotten to that yet in our school, but just thinking about the possibilities of having them be able to share their learning through that. Yeah, I'm getting ideas just sitting here talking with you.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Awesome. Yeah. So, what I'm thinking also is just like there's so many ways that we can bundle these together to build unique portfolios too. As our kids go from quarter to quarter and then grade to grade level, that they're going to have these cool projects that follow them. And we can celebrate awesome teachers like yourselves, in our community. So, wow, incredible. Well, it looks like we've got one viewer out there. Do we have any questions out there from our audience? I think they're just kind of all in awe, just like soaking it all in and just, just trying to take voracious notes out there and, taking it all in. Well, excellent. Next steps for you, Rachel and Lauren, aside from wrapping up the school year? Any big projects that you're going to try to work on over the summer?
You want me to go first, or you? Me.
So, Lauren, are you going to be teaching the fifth grade?
I think this. Sorry.
Oh, hello. Sorry. No, next year we go back down to fourth grade.
Back to fourth. Okay.
Yeah. So actually, that would be a great opportunity to get the students, if the technology is available, to be able to actually get them to do
more of the components of the Life Museum and have them start different collections. So not just the word bank, not just the nature inspired in their community, but also getting to them to pull the evidence that really shows about who they are and pulling in those other work samples to post up there onto their site.
And will you be teaching all core subjects?
Yes.
Well, that's really neat, and I think Rachel brought this up too, because she had a social studies themed unit, and she just incorporated a lot of the ELA Common Core standards to kind of build that cross-curricular connection. And I could very easily see this being done, these artifacts being done in science so easily, and mathematics, to really kind of show these kids real-world connections and examples and projects.
Yeah.
Awesome. How about you, Ms. Rachel? Any plans for your fifth graders next year too, or?
Next year I'm changing jobs. But so next year I'll be a tech coordinator at our school. So I'll be working K-5. But we just started into something really cool. Is actually we just started integrating. We tried out a unit. It wasn't we. It was more the librarian and the current tech coordinator, a third grade teacher at our school. We just started using Minecraft. And EDU. And so what we're trying to do now is we're looking at definitely putting more coding into our school as well as Minecraft. We're doing really well with GAF, I think, at this point already. I mean, use it for the science fair, all this stuff. And Lauren, by the way, I'm not sure if you've heard of Hapara, but I'm sure Mike Fricano's, has he talked to you guys about
I wasn't one of the ones who started, but yeah.
Hapara is definitely a lifesaver for teachers time-wise as you get more using Google Docs and Google Apps more. Definitely looking at how you organize things is important, but I'm really excited because I know Google just put out the Google Classroom, so that will be interesting to see what their learning management platform looks like. But yeah, the goal for next year is, I guess, to learn my new job and to try to be great at it. I have a lot to learn.
You don't have anything to worry about.
Well, the integration piece, is learning all the tech piece, the maintenance and the networking piece. That's going to be very intense. But the integration piece, I'm excited because hopefully at the beginning of the year I put in to try to go to Las Vegas, so that's some super exciting news for code.org there. And if you're interested, to anyone that's viewing out there, not that I'm trying to get my spot taken, but they have on code.org, if your school did the hour of code, they have a application for those who want to go and learn more about teaching others teachers to bring coding into school. So that if you fill out that application, they're basically looking for people to then be trainers of other teachers. So hopefully they'll pick me because we definitely looked at coding this year and we want to get more intense into it next year. And we looked at Minecraft. So we're looking at building some of those interdisciplinary units using some Minecraft and gamification. So it's fun times. So as my job role changes, but definitely fifth grade is near and dear to my heart, so definitely be working with them as I continue.
Well, we would certainly love to keep the doors open and invite you both back anytime, and certainly, I've learned a lot from you both, and I'm sure our audience will too, and, with Sean popping in occasionally, we've been able to have a couple of tech coordinators that have shared their resources and their experiences, as well as administrators too. So certainly come one, come all. And we thank you so much for sharing your expertise and your time with us.
Oh, Rachel, I have a quick question. I was actually interested, you mentioned the Minecraft EDU. Like, is there a particular thing that you use within Minecraft? Is it like the circuits, or what is it?
Okay. Yeah, I feel like I'm not an expert enough to talk about it, but I'll try. actually, it came about because our librarian and Michelle Colt and our current tech coordinator, Megan Cummings, and then one of our instructional coaches, Linnell Niall, and a third grade teacher in our school, Rachel Shun. I just want to give them all props because they created a unit on economics where the students are going in and they're building. So they're in create mode. They went through a tutorial and they looked at their agreements as a class, and then they had the students research about different states and what the states are famous for. And, you know, I wasn't there for all this piece of them planning it, so I kind of feel like that would be them. I don't want to step on toes or say the wrong thing, but I'm going to kind of just give you what I've heard of it. And so they have the kids going into create mode in different sections on a map on a world, and the kids are creating monuments or things that are specific to that area of the United States. So we're just beginning, you know, I mean, we're really not experts. And we've teamed up with Shane Asseltine from, can't think of the school off the top of my head.
He's at a elementary school as well, right?
Yeah, he's at a public school as well, and he teaches
Momimani.
Thank you, yes. And he's actually, he's come on because we do a EdTech mixed plate. We do a weekly hangout for educators to just share resources as well as people to follow kind of thing with Mike Fricano, who I know comes on you guys' show sometimes. So we do a weekly hangout with him, and Shane came on, and he was gracious enough to, you know, he's been helping us out because he's like he's a Minecraft all-star. So we're just trying to, you know, beginnings of it. And so we haven't had the kids ever in survival mode. So if you ask me questions, to be honest with you, I've only played the tutorial so far. I have a lot to learn there. It actually kind of made me motion sick, you know, Sean. I don't know. So are you using Minecraft with your kids or at your school, or because if you are, we need your expertise.
No, actually the reverse opposite. I am a Minecraft gamer.
Oh, yeah, but we need you then because, and you can come on EdTech Mixed Play because what we tried to do this past Sunday is we all tried to go into one of Shane's maps on one of his worlds together, but we had so many tech glitches with our Macs and we couldn't figure out what was going on. But what we wanted to do was all go in together and do that on top of a hangout. It didn't work out, but yeah, he's definitely giving us some advice, and we're looking online at the Minecraft wiki, and then by we I mean not so much me yet, but I hopefully more next year when I have more time to invest in it, as well as this summer. And I know that Shane is teaching a class, I think at Punahou.
Yeah, he's going to be one of our facilitators for our coding cohort for Punahou Lab School. So if anyone's interested in that, you can still sign up. I think we're gonna still take people all the way to the end of May.
Yeah.
So it's a 4-day, full day cohort on coding, and Shane and one of our teachers from Punahou are co-facilitating that cohort.
Yeah, I definitely want to come to that. So I'm gonna have to look at the dates, and I need. Michelle had sent me. She had tweeted that to me. I gotta get on top of signing up. But yeah, honestly, I'm just a newbie to it, so I'm looking forward to learning more. It's pretty fun stuff. It's kind of addictive. But I did get a little motion sick last time, and my kids told me when we went into play, my kids were pretty experts at it because they've been playing at home, and they just said that's because I'm old. And I was like,
oh, really? Is that the clinical diagnosis?
Kids, I said, I'm not old. But yeah, they said it was because I was old and they're not. It was very cool to watch the kids sit down next to the teachers, and we had our principal come in, and she sat down with a group of my kids, and the kids were having to help us. They were they were guiding us through the tutorial. And I have to tell you, it was kind of frustrating, but it was such good problem solving and teaching perseverance and use all these qualities we want in the kids. So why not manipulate it and use it for education? So hopefully we can do that without killing the gaming aspect of it too much. So Sean, we definitely have to connect online, and then we're going to utilize your brilliance then. So definitely, yeah, that's a good thing.
I copy everything from the YouTube community in, they make timers and just amazing circuitry that I couldn't dream of replicating.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm new to it, so any advice or help you could give would be great. So my at Rackstrong's my Twitter feed, and then on Google Plus, definitely connect with me as well. Thank you. Yeah, thanks for even mentioning. You knew it. That's great. New connection.
Rachel, I had a question. Lauren had mentioned that you were using Weebly. Do you guys still do that? And what are you guys using it for? Is it mainly just like classroom websites?
Yeah, currently we're using Weebly for the student. My students each have a Weebly site that they build where they embed and showcase all their work. I'm gonna be honest. I know we're doing a Google show right now, but I prefer Weebly for students because it's a drag and drop site. I feel like even for myself, honestly, I prefer Weebly because to me it's just easier to use. I know we're using Google Sites for our WASC, kind of like our WASC binders. But for the students, I don't plan on shifting that to Google anytime soon. So yeah, I'm going to keep using Weebly, and I think our principal is really open to whatever the specific teacher wants to do. So for science fair, the kids they have their one portfolio site where they put all their work for each quarter, and then they have their science fair website. So we're hoping that the district will eventually let us know that science fair doesn't have to be done like on the big boards, and that it can be done electronically as well. But I think somewhat the boards are, I think, because it makes it easier to view quickly. So I'm guessing that's one of the reasons for the boards. But yeah, I don't plan on using anything but Weebly unless something better comes up. I get around it. I use the free one. A lot of people don't like Weebly because they say you can't embed, it's harder to put the videos on. But what I do is when my kids make iMovies, they give me the file, and then I put it on my Vimeo or account or my YouTube channel, and then I just send them back the link and the embed code, and they put it on their website using the HTML button. So we get around paying for things. I don't pay for anything. I think the only thing I pay for, or the school pays for me, is Glogster.edu. At this point, I don't even think that that's necessary anymore either, because there's probably ways to get around that. Oh, thank you. I see the comments. Well, there's a lot to learn, and I was really wishing. Is anybody going to ISTE on this panel? Oh, lucky
I am. Kimball and I.
Oh, lucky. Yeah, because the past 2 years, I got to go, and this year I don't get to go, but it's definitely, if you ever get the opportunity, Lauren. Sean, have you ever been to ISTE as well, or?
No, I have not.
Yeah, so if you ever get the chance to go, it's amazing. Definitely a game changer. So something to check out if you ever get the opportunity.
Are other people from your school going, Rachel?
Michelle Colt's going. Our principal is going this year. Gianni Wase, and one of our instructional coaches, Linnell Basug, is going. So we have 3 people from our school going this year. But I'll definitely be doing I'll be keeping up virtually. But yeah, as best as I can. But I intend to enjoy this summer. I'm gonna be on the beach, so, relaxing. But yeah, it's kind of a bummer that not getting to go. But I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you guys get a lot out of it. And Atlanta's a hot place in the summer, so
yeah, it's really hot.
Yeah.
That was my first ISTE. I think it was 2006.
Oh, was it Atlanta?
Hot. Yeah, that's the first time I went, and yeah, it's hot.
Yeah, it's hot there. I'm waiting for it to come around to California again, because definitely could probably afford that a little bit better. And California is lovely, so.
I think
we might from Atlanta.
Maui too. So I'm just throwing that out there.
What was that, Kimball?
I think we might need an ISTE Maui or Hawaii.
Yeah, that sounds good to me too.
Oh, well, thanks everyone for being with us and for sharing the great stuff that you're doing. And please come join us again if you feel like hanging out, or and if not, just be active in the community and share your thoughts and resources. We're gonna probably most likely, and we're hosting these hangouts Mondays and Wednesdays at 7 until at least the end of May, and then during the summer we may have a couple of sporadic hangouts, and then we'll see what will happen in the fall as school starts up again. When does the DOE start up? Is it the end of July?
Yeah,
You
we
guys
go
know?
back. The teachers go back at the last week of July, and then I think the students come back the first week in August. It's like on a Friday they come back.
Oh, okay. Yeah, cool. So yeah, and we are definitely going to try to keep the GEG community growing and active, and as far as trying to see how we can help to support teachers out there, or how teachers can support one another. So yeah, so we're really glad you could join us, and I'm glad that Lauren, you were able to experience your first hangout with us.
Yeah. Okay, wait. These things
All
popped
right.
up on my screen. What are these things? Wait.
I was
There.
trying to take a picture.
Oh, sorry. Did it go? Or
All of
and
you are naturals. Yeah, it was great. Yeah, it was awesome. I love these. Yeah, I think we all got some good takeaways from this. So, mahalo, everyone. Well,
All right.
tune in next Monday. We're going to have a few more peeps. And we welcome, as always, Liz was saying, comments and questions in the community. And we wish you all a good rest of the week and weekend ahead. All right. Thanks so
All right.
much,
Good night,
everyone.
everyone.
All right, thank you. Take care.
thank
Thanks,
you.
guys.
Thank you.